So Arjan is here. I have seen him. He is the co-founder of Free a Girl, which campaigns to rescue trafficked children. They make every effort to ensure that their exploiters are brought to justice. While working as head of mission for Doctors Without Borders, rebels kidnapped him. He spent 607 days in a dark cage, measuring 5 feet by 6 feet, with nothing but insects and rodents as cellmates. It was during those days and nights that his hopes and beliefs were tested in ways that few will ever experience. You'll be inspired by what Arjan endured while being held captive. It's the kind of true story that changes people's lives for the better because it teaches how his powerful example of overcoming the odds has worked for him. Arjan, welcome. You have the floor.
Yes, Michelle, thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. I'm Arjan Erkel from the Netherlands, so I'm in Europe. It's 2 o'clock here. And thank you for having the floor. I will tell a little bit about my story, how I was kidnapped, what happened to me and what it did to me. But also, of course, as you all supported to stop child trafficking, I will tell a little bit about my organization, Free a Girl USA and Free a Girl the Netherlands. Feel free to interrupt, feel free to ask questions because that makes it more animated and more interaction. So please feel free to ask any question you want. I can always say, no, I don't want to answer this, but feel free also to ask anything. I will share some, yeah, of course, some of the PowerPoint slides I made, I will share with you. And yeah, I will start just with my name because otherwise, yeah, you don't know how to pronounce it, and that will be very difficult, of course, for you all over the United States.
Thank you. Yeah, that is true. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is me on the left side when I was yeah, held hostage for 607 days. I was working for Doctors Without Borders. I'm a cultural anthropologist. And one of my friends worked with Doctors Without Borders, and that's how I started working with them. I really had a fantastic time working in countries that I've never heard about, like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. I don't know if you heard about it, Sierra Leone. And then they asked me to become a country director in Russia, which is, of course, the biggest country in the world. And for my career, it was a great step forward. And I had a fiance also coming from Russia, so that fitted together. But unfortunately, I was taken hostage. I will tell more about it. And then, yeah, 2 more pictures. Me, I'm a public speaker now, sometimes with music, sometimes without. And this is with a guitar player. I got lots of strength and energy from the music from my youth when I was kidnapped. And there was a band in the Netherlands which was called Normal, like Normal, and yeah, their music helped me to get along. And I even learned the kidnappers to sing songs from that song. So afterwards, I made contact with them, and they were so happy that, yeah, their music inspired me and gave me strength to hold on. And I made a video tour with them. I don't know what's best. I think I will just share a little bit about my story, and then I will come to why I started together with my colleagues Free a Girl. I think the reason is because I felt connected with them when I was freed. There was so much happiness in the Netherlands because for 607 days, yeah, the whole country was yeah, sharing their passion with me, and they wanted me to get out. I was really like a well-known person. And then I heard about all those girls, yeah, especially abroad, like in India, Thailand, Cambodia, working in the worst places, and no one except their parents cares for them. And then I thought, yeah, the whole of the Netherlands helped me, even my colleagues, of course, the government. Even Joe Biden wrote a letter to Putin. How cool is that your president nowadays even knows my name? If he still remembers, of course. But yeah, there was so much effort to get me out, and I felt like those girls, sometimes they're 9, 13, 15 years old, they also want to go home, and they also yeah, need attention. So that's the reason why I started it. I was taken from my car with lots of violence, So I just surrendered. They beat me up. Then they brought me into a small cabin, which I will show you. And I was stuck there for 607 days in this room. And you can imagine how bad that is. In the beginning, I felt, yeah, I never wanted to share my feelings with the kidnappers in the beginning because yeah, I hated them. I hated this place. You can imagine there's no inspiration coming from this at all. So I had to reinvent myself to get back my powers of being a happy person, being someone who looks into the future instead of, yeah, as a product. I was worth $5 million. They wanted to raise $5 million, and yeah, I'm a human being. So I did my best to make contact with them, to show them that I'm a human being, and in a way that I started to be interested in them, I got them to get interested in me. As an anthropologist, I knew that I should be curious again about their lives, curious about what I can learn. Of course, I learned all kind of powers, all kind of potential within myself, like being patient, being friendly, more friendly than usual, maybe, perseverance, but also, yeah, how to make contact with all the emotions that help to get me out of here, like gratitude, like hope, and yeah, so many more. You can imagine that every day could be my last day. So on a good day, it could be the next day could be my release. So my feelings also, yeah, were getting up and I could cry because I thought I will never see my parents again. I would never see my girlfriend again. Or I could be very happy and imagining that I would walking around Rotterdam with hands in hand with my girlfriends, looking forward to meet my mother again. But it all depends on how I felt. And yeah, one of the worst moments was when I was when there was an ultimatum video. I will show you that also. I hope you're not frightened by it. But of course, in a certain moment, it took them time. It took them too long, and they wanted me to have a ultimatum video, and um, and then I come back to free a girl. Can you imagine that you're sitting there and you try to do your best to make contact, and I did manage quite well. I got books at a certain moment. I was allowed to watch TV with them. At a certain moment, they even invited me to cook. A couple more months later, they invited me to have some fresh air outside. So I was really doing my best, and I thought they were not going to kill me anymore. But there I made a mistake because when we recorded the video, they said, yeah, well, we will hire other people to kill you. So it didn't work out, my plan to make sort of friends with them. Here I'll show you the ultimatum video. Здравствуйте. Люди, которые меня здесь держат, дали мне еще один шанс, то я с вами поговорю. Я не знаю, если вы можете представлять, как моя жизнь была 10 месяцев. Ну, очень трудно. Ну, может быть, сейчас или все будет хорошо, если вы платите. Если вы не платите, это тоже хорошо. Я больше не могу с вот этой жизнью, поэтому через 10 дней все равно все будет решено. Yeah, and to see myself like this, I can still feel, of course, the pain and the misery and the tears, but also that I felt left out and that I thought, why isn't anyone helping me? And luckily, my feelings were wrong because everyone wanted to get me out in the Netherlands. Of course, my family, but my colleagues, even people who didn't know me, they did their best. And when I came back, that really gave me power to move on. Also, the feeling that I survived, I managed, I had lots of influence. I tried to make my life better under the most difficult circumstances. And then I thought maybe I can also help other people to get their freedom back. And that's how we started with Free a Girl. And of course, it's a little bit of a joke, but sometimes I feel myself as a freedom fighter. I want normal people. When I give lectures, it's about freedom of choice, freedom in your life. How do you deal with the past? How do you deal with your future? What do you do to move on in your life? Because we are all sometimes stuck in life. It can be because of financial difficulties. It can be because of relational difficulties, your work, even now with COVID, of course. But then the second part of my work, next to trying to motivate people, is to free, girls. That's the way. And we are the founders. That these four people we were founded in 2008. I was quite a well-known person, and the lady on the right, Yolanda, she's a superstar. So we had a big start, and lots of people wanted to help us. Since 2008, we freed more than 5,000 girls. So we really gave them a second chance. Can you imagine how cool that is? I was released. I saw my mother again. I was released on Easter Day, so I felt really as my resurrection, and that feeling I want to give back to those ladies as well. I don't know what you know about all the trafficking, because of course you focus on this topic. So I hope I'm not repeating all kind of messages that you hear all the time. But it's a worldwide problem. Like in the United States, it is in the Netherlands, where I'm from. We have it, but the biggest problem is in India. Out of 2 million children being sexually exploited, 1.2 million are located in India. So that's an enormous amount. It's not so much that everyone looks away, but lots of people just don't know it in India. And what the problem is with all cases all over the world, that there's not so much, if you look at the numbers on the left side, the conviction rate is very low, because lots of survivors or victims don't dare to start a lawsuit, and that's where we try to help. And we want to rescue, we want to prevent, but also to fight impunity. That's why we need lobby and advocacy. And of course, the young girls that we free, we either try to send them back home, try to reunite them with the family, and otherwise we educate them until they're 18. The countries where we work now are these 8 countries. And the main programs are in India, because the problems are the biggest over there. I've been there, and it's really disgusting what you see there. Even the places where they work, sometimes they just have a small mattress with walls around it, and that's their living area. And the worst thing that touched me, that sometimes you see those children pillows with Mickey Mouse or Elsa from Frozen, and that they have to do all the other works. I think I will share you one program, because I don't have much time. We are focusing much more now on online as well, because even in countries as India, lots of things are going online. I saw the message in the chat. Lots of bed and breakfast hotels are used instead of the old school brothels or clubs or dancing places. And what we also want to change in India for sure is the justice system. And what we started is the School for Justice, that the smart girls from 15, 16, 17 years old that speak a little bit of English already, that had some education, we send them to the School for Justice. It's not our private school, it's just being part of the governmental system. We send them to university to become the lawyers and maybe even the district attorneys of the future, so that they can really change the system from within, because they have the passion, they have the power, they are having so much bravery and courage, and they are not afraid to show their faces. I want to show you a clip. And the smart rescue is more about trapping the users into custody by making all kind of smart programs, pretending to be young girls, and then they're trapped. I have a small clip also about the School for Justice. Let me know if you don't hear the sound.
For years, child prostitution prostitution has grown in India. For years, our girls were forced to take clients every day. For years, the men that visited and raped these girls could walk away unpunished. That is about to change. Free a Girl started the School for Justice. A school where rescued girls are educated to become the best lawyers and prosecutors in the country, to put everyone involved in child prostitution behind bars. And believe us, they are passionate to do so.
Yeah, and myself, I like that program so much because it's all about resilience. It's about changing the system, and yeah, so far we have schools in Nepal, in India we have two. That's really cool. We have 3 offices now, one in the Netherlands, one in Mumbai, and we just started in New York. We're waiting for the registration with the IRS, and then we can really start. It's all according to the how you deal with foundations. We have a supervisory board. We have a director. Her name is Evelien, and in the Netherlands we have 7 people working and one freelance person. Our turnover is 2.9 million euros, so it's a little bit more than $3.2 million. And yeah, we have 80% of fundraising, 6% of management and administration, so 76% really goes to the field. Yeah, that's in short my story. I want to give the floor if you have questions about my story, about Free a Girl, about the book. You can read the whole story, but it's more. I was given 20 minutes, so I have a couple of minutes to share or answer your questions.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So when you finally were released, did they pay the ransom to get you out?
Yeah,
or?
it was 1 million euro was paid. They changed from dollars to euro because of the the better exchange rate. But yeah, I was waiting for it for 20 months. I accepted that that's part of the deal, and yeah, the sooner they would pay, the better for me. Of course I understood that once you start paying, other people will be kidnapped as well. But that's why I was already kidnapped. I thought that the previous guy from Doctors Without Borders was released by $12 million. So at least I could bring down the amount a little bit.
Were they captured later?
Yeah, what I heard is that they were given 1 year to disappear out of sight, and that's what they did. But slowly they were either killing themselves with all kind of fights between. They were all Muslim, radical Muslim fighters, so they were fighting against the Russian government. Some of the guys went to Syria. Putin helped, especially Syria, because to get rid of his own radical Muslims. So most of them they died, and maybe 1 or 2 stayed alive. But yeah, it's not a easy life for them either. It's also it's part of their risks, part of their life.
Yeah. So the story was so touching, especially the stories about the girls. I felt it, and I want to know, have any of the ladies graduated from the School of Justice yet, or is still new?
Yeah, no, it's one since last year. One of the girls. It's a new project. So it takes 4 or 5 years for them to graduate. But the first one really graduated, and we changed the program a little bit, that we also make it for para-juridical things like journalists, but also assistants to lawyers. So that makes it more easy for them to join the program, because otherwise, yeah, maybe the gap between their education and to start in university is too big. But yeah, it's really, yeah, it's moving. But not even that they are graduating, but that they really take the risk, because no one in India or in Cambodia likes to express that they are victims, because they're, I don't know the word, that yeah, you're seen as a bad person. So that's really the courage from those girls, because part of it is that they have to show in social media what they're doing, and yeah, to get more attention for the problems, because really in India, lots of normal Indian people don't even know that it's such a big issue in their country. So yeah, it's really, sometimes I was a little bit brave. I had to fight with my kidnappers, which was also scary, but those girls, they are the real heroes. Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. Thank you and I'll send you a mail. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.